What should I call my grandparents? Rory's not.
Rory's. And then suddenly Strobe says, what does he say that gets it started? He starts off.
So here's what's going on.
Because you've seen the scene multiple. It was a fast scene.
It was very fast and a lot happened.
Yeah.
So both grandparents are sitting there, both parents and Rory. Rory actually curtsies when she first meets her new grandparents because she's so awkward. Chris says, hey, she gets that from you to Lorelai, which I absolutely believe. They both kind of, don't know what to do with their bodies and minds when they feel awkward. So they fall or they say something ridiculous. So that's Rory. And I fully get it. I thought that was so funny. And then they sit down to talk, and Strobe kind of starts with, oh, you run an inn. Your blue collar job is so bleh.
But yeah, he calls running an inn a blue collar job.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hell?
Yeah. Well, that's how rich he is, and that's how snobby he is. So Lorelai's already feeling it while everyone's pretending that that's not happening. They're just having a civil conversation. But then he pushes more and more throughout the scene. So what Emily and Gilmore are doing are trying to bring it back to civility, I think, and saying, oh, Rory's really smart. She's, doing she's in the top class at a very good school and all this, and they're listing her resume. And Richard ends it with, oh yeah, you should have a conversation with Rory. She'll give you a run for your money. And then there's silence, and Rory thinks she's supposed to get out her TED talk. What am I supposed to do?
In this scene, so this scene was awkward because the adults, the quote unquote adults in the room, the rich Strobe and Francine and Emily and Richard, should have better conversation skills.
Yes.
In general, than you and Rory should have a conversation, and then sitting in this unbearable silence.
I agree. But in their world, somebody Rory's age will have been, presented to the world with her.
Right. They have a TED Talk. They have a TED Talk planned, and they'd be like, well, actually, I'm interested in astrophysics.
Exactly.
And what. But I also noticed before Francine and Strobe walk in the door, the unbelievably unequal distribution on the couches. Did you notice this?
No, but I love that you noticed these, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
So Rory, Lorelai, and Chris sit on one couch.
That makes sense.
But Emily's mom sits on the other whole couch. I mean, Lorelai's mom, Emily, sits on the other couch. So there's 4 people and 2 couches, and they go 3 and 1, not 2 and 2.
Well, because then Strobe and Francine will
sit. They hadn't shown up yet.
I do feel like that's the adult table in the room at that moment, like the adult couch, like the elders are sitting over here.
Sure, but they haven't established that yet. I feel like 2 couches,
that bothers you.
2 couches, 4 people, 2 and 2. I mean, you're making it weird. But yes, and then it's explained when Francine and Strobe show up, they fill in those 2 spots. Yes. And I'm like, oh, that's why we had this awkward distribution of couches earlier.
Man, right, you pick up all that kind of stuff. I love it because like you said, I've seen this. Because
you know what else it did? It made Rory look small because she's sitting between her parents.
Maybe that was meant to.
It made Rory look more childlike if she's not sitting up,
that reminds me.
I know we all have to sit, but if she's not sitting on her own at the she's sitting between 2 grown-ups.
Right.
So it makes her look more childlike, more small, and more,
It is a more safe space because those are the people that are, even though Chris is not really around, that's her immediate family.
But she's also more comfortable with her grandparents than she's ever been in her life. I don't know, whatever. It was weird. But I think that like cinematically, it was to make her look more childlike.
I believe that. And I appreciate now I'm going to look at it next time I rewatch because I'm rewatching this show. Anyway.